with the NBA season right around the corner, there's no better time to then go over our predictions for the NBA awards. Going right into it. First, we got MVP. Who do you got for MVP in this season?
This year, as much as the MVP is about stats, I'm looking at it as a narrative. And this year, I got as the dark horse MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like that because, I mean, yeah, it's like the guy definitely has to be a vocal point of his team. Shai's definitely the number one. So, wow. I mean, that's a hot take, though. Can't lie. My take for MVP coming in at plus 550, I got Luka Doncic of the Mavs. I think the Mavs will have a big bounce back year. I mean, not even making to the playoff last year. I think Luka's going to take it personal. I know we've been saying this past couple years that he's been like top 5 for the best odds of getting MVP, but I think this is the season where he breaks it.
I like that. I think that both of those picks, Shai and Luka, these are guys that haven't won it yet. And I think that goes a lot into actually getting the MVP. I don't think the league wants to give it to Joel again because this was a pity MVP. They don't want Jokic.
Yeah.
Giannis is playing with somebody else. I think it's going to be one of those kind of younger guys that's going to take the next step.
Right.
So
I agree. It's a time for the new era of MVPs in this league. So going right into it, next we got Depoy. Who do you got for Defensive Player of the Year?
I think this is going to be a huge year one for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so I got Evan Mobley coming to get that Depoy.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And my take, this one's not biased. I am a Lakers fan, but I'm going at plus 1,000. I got AD winning Depoy. You know, obviously, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to take a big step up this year. Obviously, LeBron's journey is coming to an end with the Lakers. I think AD, if he can stay healthy, he's going to average over 3 blocks a game, and this award's his to lose.
I mean, we just saw in that last preseason game, he had 4 blocks in
the first quarter, yeah.
But like you said, when he plays 50 games, you're not going to get it. And the new league rule is that in order to be eligible for any award,
you have to play a certain amount of games. Yeah.
And when's the last time he's played 65 games?
Fair enough. It's going to be this year. That's what I'm saying. All right. Next award, we got Most Improved Player. Who do you got?
Most Improved Player. That is tough. I might have to go with Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, because he's still young, so it's like he has a lot to prove, really, but it's tough on a team like the Pistons. Yeah.
So, I think a lot of the times they don't want to give it to a second-year player because a lot of times you see that sophomore-year jump with NBA guys. But if he takes another leap in his third year, I could see him getting that Most Improved Player.
Okay. Interesting. So the player I was thinking first for Most Improved was Zion, just because he's coming back. He was hurt all last year, and I think he's going to take another big leap this year. I'm not going to choose him just because he's been an all-star in the past. I'm going to take someone who hasn't had those awards yet, being that third option on the Warriors team growing up. I'm taking Jordan Poole, now on the Wizards. He's going to be the number one option. I think he's going to be a big vocal point on this team. The ball is going to go through him and Kuz, so I think he's going to take a big leap this year, and Jordan Poole for Most Improved Player.
I like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised you see him. He already went off in preseason.
That's kind of like just seeing that, and then I've just been doing some research, and it looks like he got his confidence back. So really,
I think that would be cool. 25 for sure.
Sweet. Next, we got Rookie of the Year. This is a big one because there's obviously we know who the number one player coming into this year is, but there's a bunch of players on this list that can do it. Who do you got for Rookie of the Year?
Look, starting with Summer League this year, I saw Victor play. Victor Wembanyama, obviously number one pick, and I was a little unsure about him. His weight, the way he was moving on the NBA court, it didn't look like he was all he was hyped up to be. And then we saw that second Summer League game where he just goes absolutely ballistic.
Right.
And then everything so far throughout this preseason, I mean, he's a fucking demigod.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be hard to say how does that dude? He's on a team where he's the guy, he's the focal point. I got him win Rookie of the Year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've never seen a player like him before. I agree. He did start off pretty slow in the Summer League. I think there's just way too much hype around him now. It's kind of like Boulder, where it's like there's so much hype when the media tries to sway away. It's like in some ways we take too much for granted. I mean, he is 19 years old. He's a rookie. He has a lot to learn. But yeah, he's been looking very decent these past couple games in preseason. Obviously not even playing the full game. So I think when the season comes around, I think Victor, obviously he's at number one right now for having the best odds. I'm going to take someone who should have won this the year before, Mr. Chet Holmgren. Obviously he got hurt. He missed the year. So coming into his second year, but this is his first year playing. So I think he's definitely still eligible. Yeah, I mean, he's honestly him and Victor play a lot similar. I mean, big
Yeah.
guys who can handle the ball and pretty much just get open for themselves. So I would not be surprised if Chet wins this.
I like that. Guys, like you said, can handle the ball, get shots for themselves,
Exactly.
defend, the perimeter and then the basket. And
Really.
then you talked about Chet coming into his second year, being able to put on the NBA strength.
Hopefully, put on some weight. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He's been looking good too. So I think it's obviously Victor at number 1, but Chet's not too far behind.
The Thunder could be scary this year. I mean, we're talking about Shea, really.
Yeah.
Shea and Chet. They got a full team now, and then all that draft picks too, which we could go into later. But all right, next award we got the Sixth Man of the Year. Who do you got?
I got 2 candidates depending on how the starting lineups go. At 1, we've seen D'Angelo Russell already talking about it. We got his favorite player, Derek White. Now, this depends because on the lineups,
Shout out Boulder.
NBA, like the Celtics end up running, if they have Derek White in the starting lineup, obviously he's not going to be eligible for 6-man. But if they run a lineup that has like Chris Tapps, Al Horford,
Right.
Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum,
He'll be coming off the bench.
and then him off the bench, I could see him winning that.
Definitely.
If not, if he's in the starting lineup, then at number 2, I'd have Emmanuel Quickley, the New York for the Knicks.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that'd be huge for him to take a big step forward. My Sixth Man of the Year is no other than Mr. Chris Paul, one of the oldest players in the year. Obviously, we know he just got traded to the Warriors. I think he's going to take a big step back this year and really just play as that role player. I think he really just wants to win. I mean, alongside him, he's playing with the best point guard of all time. I said it with Steph. So he's at plus 1,800. I think this could be a steal. I think he'll definitely come off the bench this year, and I think he's going to fit the role perfectly. Sweet. So now, the most important NBA award of them all. Who do you have for winning the championship this year?
While I was skeptical coming into the season, I got the fucking Phoenix Suns as the champs.
Wow.
I think they're absolutely dirty. Like, obviously last week you saw they had Durant and Booker, and they made a decent playoff run. But when you have those 2 guys as your focal point, they kind of ran out of steam. They still had, a 6-game series against the Nuggets?
Yo,
Like, it was competitive.
what can you say about their depth now, though? Because that was their biggest issue.
So then you add a guy like Bradley Beal, who every time they play a game is going to be guarded by the 3rd best perimeter player on the other team.
Yep.
He's a guy who can get 30 points a game. And then they added Yusuf Nurkic as their center over DeAndre Ayton,
Right.
who I think just has that experience, has been in those moments. He's not going to piss himself when shit gets hard. They added Grayson Allen, who is one of my favorite players last year on the Bucks. He's a bucket getter, elite 3-point shooter,
he
defender.
got a chip on his shoulder for
Chip
sure.
on
Yeah.
his shoulder. He wants to win.
Yeah.
So they kind of added 2 of the things that I think were major discrepancies from them last season. One being their depth. I think they got deeper. They also just got better overall. You had a guy like Bradley Beal. Your team is better.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I don't think it could be an argument. They have the best offense in the league, if not starting lineup. Yeah, I guess with them, the question is, can they play defense? And again, with their depth. So It'll be interesting to see. For my pick, at plus 400 odds coming into the season, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, just adding a future Hall of Famer in Dame Lillard. I think this team is going to be unstoppable. The Bucks have definitely been a little disappointing these past couple years in the playoffs. Coming into playoffs with the best record in the league and falling short. Obviously losing to the Heat last year. So yeah, I think Giannis is definitely going to make a point this year because I think he could have left honestly without this Dame trade. I know his contract's coming to a close, so I think it's time for the Bucks to win. And they have 2 top 10 players in the league. I would not be surprised at all if the Bucks come out with this year.
No doubt.
Sweet.